Warning. The views expressed on this program are solely those of the individuals involved in the discussion and for entertainment purposes only. They do not reflect the views of Bad Bob Productions, its affiliates, or partners, and should not be considered endorsements or legal advice of any kind. This program is not intended for children under the age of 13. Parental discretion is advised.
Now, it's time to burn, burn, burn!
The Great Base God 14. What's up, big doggy?
Oh, there's a lot up, as there always is. Every Saturday morning, there's always a lot up. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, we're up too.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. What's happening?
So we were talking just before the program. It's not on the marquee, but the World Cup, man. Morocco just defeated Portugal. Morocco just defeated Portugal.
Do you know what the score was? It had to be
1-0.
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah, that's I played for like 16 years, and let me tell you something. I played up in the heavy semi-pro boys, and let me tell you, 1 point is like, it's like pulling teeth, man. It is the hardest thing to do. They are so good at that level that they won't even let you even get close to the goal. I mean, it's a fight. It's a fight. I mean, football is pretty rough. It's pretty, when they tackle you. Yeah, but I tell you what, in soccer, when you don't have any pads and you're both running at each other full speed and you just collide in the middle of, or you clip each other's shins at 20 miles an hour. Yeah, and bones go flying. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, that game I didn't see very much. I saw a little bit of it. Just some I was doing a bunch of other stuff, but still, oh my God. Did you see a lot of it? Or
I saw the end of it. And actually Morocco, they had a penalty, so they lost a player. And they were one player down. And they still won.
Oh, wow.
They still won.
Oh, yeah. It's guts and glory.
And what's really funny is the Portuguese players were crying about the officiating. I'm like, Portugal won with one player down and you're crying? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, whatever, man.
That's what's cool about soccer is that you can cry. You can fall on the ground and put your arms straight up in the air like you've just been, somebody just whacked you, and you're just, and the ref just,
and they'll just keep playing. They'll just keep playing. They don't even care. You know what I mean?
And then you try to,
not like football. In football, if you fall down,
yeah,
they stop the game, right?
Oh yeah.
That doesn't happen. You can't do that in soccer. In soccer, they'll just let you just cry and whine and just flail about. You could be dying on the field. You could be dying, and they just keep playing.
And here's the best part. If you try to get up and you go right over to the ref and you get in his face, he pulls out that red card or that yellow card, boom, and it's over. It's over. You're like, out. You're like, and then if you don't get out, then he'll stop the game.
Yeah.
Then he'll walk over to the ref and go, I'm not the ref, the coach, and he'll tell him he's done. If you don't get him out of here, I'm calling the whole game, and they won, just like that. There ain't no mercy, man. It's crazy. So,
yeah.
Anyways, so So what else going on out there? I heard there's some other crazy stuff that's happening out there. Some Some pretty stupid.
Well, there's the WNBA versus a Marine. Let's talk about that, right?
Wow. God, what is going on there? I just, how do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, I have an article for you.
Yeah, let's
Can you see it okay?
Let's see. Just a little bit.
This is from
there it is.
This is from the Federal Times. WNBA star freed in U.S. Russian prisoner swap. Marine veteran still held. So this is a picture of Brittney Griner, and so Russia freed WNBA star Brittney Griner on Thursday in a dramatic high-level prisoner exchange with the U.S., releasing notorious Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. American officials said the swap, at a time of heightened tensions over Ukraine, achieved a top goal for President Joe Biden, but carried a heavy price and left an American Marine veteran jailed for nearly 4 years in Russia. The deal, the second such exchange in 8 months with Russia, procured the release of the most prominent American detained abroad. Griner is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist whose months-long imprisonment on drug charges brought unprecedented attention to the population of wrongful detainees. By the way, I just want to mention that her month-longs, and this other guy's been there for 4 years. Anyway, Biden's authorization to release a Russian felon, once nicknamed the Merchant of Death, underscored the escalating pressure that his administration faced to get Griner home, particularly after the recent resolution of her criminal case and her subsequent transfer to a penal colony. The swap was confirmed by U.S. officials with direct knowledge of the negotiations, who were not authorized to publicly discuss the deal before a White House announcement and spoke on condition of anonymity. Biden spoke with Griner on the phone Thursday while her wife, Cheryl, was in the Oval Office. The president was to address reporters later in the morning. Russia and U.S. officials had conveyed cautious optimism in recent weeks after months of strained negotiations, with Biden saying in November that he was hopeful that Russia would engage in a deal now that the midterm elections were completed. A top Russian official said last week that a deal was possible before year's end. Even so, the fact that the deal was a one-for-one swap was a surprise, given that U.S. officials had for months expressed their determination to bring home both Griner and Paul Whelan, a Michigan corporate security executive and a Marine veteran jailed in Russia since 2018 on espionage charges that his family and the U.S. government said are baseless. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah. They had that deal. I don't understand what happened. The Marine was actually first. And then they said,
he's been there for years. He's been there since 2018, rotting in a Russian jail.
Yeah, for nothing too. For nothing.
And you know what? Who cares, right?
Yeah.
Who cares, right?
Actually, do you know why he's in prison out there?
Well, the article said that he's there on espionage charges. That they said he was a spy, which our government says is not true.
Yeah. So what they did is they suspected him of being a spy. So they handed him a thumb drive, little USB thumb drive, and they planted documents on there from the State Department from Russia. And then when they took him into the police station to book him, they pulled out the thumb drive, plugged it into your computer, and went, "Hey, what's this stuff doing on there?" And that was the end of it. That's why he's been in there ever since. He didn't do drugs.
Here's the thing that I think, Rob, is like, even if he actually is a spy, that would mean we're still responsible for the man, right? Even if he is a spy. If he's not a spy, then he was wrongfully accused. Then we need to get him back. So it's like, no matter how you look at it, we left a man behind, right? And
if I remember correctly, what is the model of a Marine? One of them no man left behind.
Yeah, exactly.
And the commander-in-chief of the Marine Corps, of all the armies, left a man behind. Just like that.
Well,
He left him
okay.
behind. He left him.
It kind of disgusts me that Biden is the commander in chief because he's just a joke, man. He is the senile in chief. That's what he is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to say it that way, but unfortunately I had to say it. So it kind of hurt a little bit. So I'll get over here in a second, but I'll tell you what, she didn't do nothing for my country.
Hey, we got a comment. Valiant Thor has a comment, and he says, after releasing one of the biggest arm dealers in the world, I don't want to hear this administration ever talk about gun control. Valiant Thor, he's right.
Yeah, maybe.
Valiant Thor, you are valiant and you are Thor. That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
By the way, he says he's at work and he's random channel surfing. Thank you joining us on the show, Valiant Thor. We appreciate you. He says, have a blessed day.
Oh, yeah.
He says, Biden's like that grandfather who peacefully passes away, slobbering in his sleep, but the passengers in his car die yelling and screaming, literally and figuratively. Valiant Thor, thank you for joining us on the show. That's an awesome comment, Valiant Thor.
Right on.
You are valiant. You are Thor. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Nice.
Those are great comments right there.
Yes, it is. That was cool. Yeah, hey, you're welcome to come back anytime you want there. That was pretty cool. All right.
Those are some great comments, Valiant Thor. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And he's right. Or her, if it's a female. So we'll go both ways there. So so hey, just make sure. But you know what? Hey, that is cool stuff right there. Hey, Biden's.
I want to say this comment again because this is a great comment, Rob. After releasing one of the biggest arm dealers in the world, I don't want to hear this administration ever talk about gun control. I love that. Right. I just love that comment.
That's like a stick in the ass.
Yeah,
that is just beautiful. Yeah, we need to find that guy. You gotta get Thor back on the get his info if we could. If you're still out there, hey, throw us your info real quick. We'll call you. All right. So but thanks. So man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Looks like Carrie Lake jumped back in.
Well, actually, Abe Hamedeh. Abe Hamedeh is the guy that actually jumped back in. I got an article about that too.
Well, Carrie too. Carrie hasn't given up. She's, for some reason they gotta please the court system, satisfy them first before they can actually make a move and do something. When the legislators are supposed to take care of this to begin with, and I don't get it. But hey. If that's how we have to go after them. But good old Abe, you know what? Yeah. What's going on there?
So this is a Fox 10 Phoenix.com article. This is dated December 9th. This broadcast is December 10th. Abe Hamedeh RNC filed lawsuit against Arizona's election. We talked about this before. Abe Hamedeh had actually done a lawsuit before, but now this is a new lawsuit because the previous lawsuit was thrown out. So this is what's going on now. Abe Hamedeh, the GOP candidate to become Arizona's attorney general, and the Republican National Committee have filed a lawsuit against the 2022 election. Hamedeh's race to become the next AG has come down to a recount after his opponent, Democrat Chris Mays, earned just over 500 more votes. Counties need to be done by December 22 court hearing. That's when a judge will announce the results of the recount. So December 22nd, by the way, that's what we got to be looking at. That's when the recount's going to be done. Carrie Lake also filed a lawsuit against the election on Friday, claiming voters were disenfranchised. Quote, at 511 votes out of 2.5 million, our race is the closest statewide race in Arizona history. It is currently undergoing a recount. Every legal vote deserves to be counted. Maricopa County faced unprecedented and unacceptable issues on Election Day. Arizonans deserve better. When I announced my campaign in 2021, I was dismayed as having no chance by the media, the fundraisers, and the political class. But I campaigned hard. I traveled our beautiful state and gained the trust and support of the people to win the Republican nomination. I'm not desperate to be a politician. I'm desperately worried about our country. Right now, confidence in our elections are at an all-time low due to the hubris and incompetence of election officials to not take legitimate election issues seriously. I jumped in this race because I know how important the rule of law is for a civilized society. I urge all Arizonans to have patience during this time. Laws exist in order to provide justice, and the courts are the guardians of justice. If we lose hope in our system, we will no longer be that shining city upon a hill. I am fighting this fight to win and to make sure we regain confidence in our elections now and forever. Arizona, I will never stop fighting for you, Hamedeh said.
Nice job.
The lawsuit comes after Hamedeh filed a previous lawsuit on November 22nd. We did talk about that before the election results were certified. During a court hearing on November 28th, the judge argued the lawsuit was premature because the election results weren't certified and the recount had not yet happened. Quote, the plaintiffs are not by this lawsuit alleging any fraud, manipulation, or other intentional wrongdoing that would impugn the outcomes of the November 8th, 2022 general election. Plaintiffs bring this lawsuit to ensure that all lawfully cast votes are properly counted and that unlawfully cast votes are not counted. A portion of the lawsuit filing read, the lawsuit says Arizona's 2022 election was impacted by, quote, errors and inaccuracies in the management of some polling places, as well as tabulation of some ballots. The cumulative effect of these mistakes is material to the race for Arizona Attorney General, where the first canvass, the candidates are separated by just 511 votes out of more than 2.5 million ballots cast, a margin of 0.02%, the lawsuit read.
Jeez.
On election day, Maricopa County said about 20%. Think about that. 20% of its polling sites experienced issues with tabulation machines across the valley.
Crazy.
And I'll just leave it at that because I'm just like,
yeah, that's crazy.
we're talking about 511 votes, Rob.
So let me tell. Okay, so the recount is for Abe, right?
Yes.
Just Abe.
Actually, I do think the school superintendent is going to recount too. By the way, so
okay, not Carrie.
Not Carrie, because the margin of victory for Katie Hobbs did not go for recount because she had a wide margin of victory, a wider margin of victory, I should say.
Okay,
it's still close, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty interesting. Well, go Abe. I hope he. You know what? I hope those votes show exactly what's going on. I hope they do. I hope they didn't do a dump. Like what happened up there in was it Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, where the truckloads of votes came in and all of a sudden they disappeared. Those ones. Hopefully that didn't happen out there in Arizona because.
Well, here's the thing that I want to just put out there. We know in Arizona we had problems with the machines.
That's right. And
people went to the polls and basically got frustrated because of this toner issue. Let's call it Toner Gate. I haven't heard Toner Gate, but I'm going to call it Toner Gate. Okay. So they ran out of toner in the printing machines, right?
That's right. That's right.
And is it really that hard to believe that maybe 1,500 people went home and didn't vote because they were frustrated? Is that really conspiracy? That's not conspiracy. Really?
Yeah.
You don't think maybe that many people were frustrated and just went home? Come on, folks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Abe has a case. Abe has a case is what I'm trying to say, you know?
Sure does. And they both do. But, Abe just happens to be that close and can show some true colors here pretty quick. So if it
by the way,
show,
we got to talk about Bill Gates. I mean, but not that Bill Gates. For anybody that's out of the country, in the rest of the country, we're talking about County Supervisor Bill Gates, who ran the Maricopa County election. Let's call him out. He effed up. He effed up the election. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. Did you say he fucked it up? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. One interesting thing a lot of our viewers might not understand is I do live in Maricopa County. You don't. You don't live in Maricopa County. I do.
Yep.
We both live in Arizona, but Rob doesn't live in Maricopa County. I do. Okay. So I got to deal with these motherfuckers. You don't. I do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, they were so crooked last time. Even and I told you this, even when I voted a few years ago for Trump, because I did. I don't give a shit. Anybody knows it's what it is. It wasn't counted anyways because I called. I made a phone call. They said, "Yeah, who are you?" I said, "My name's blah blah blah." Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we never got nothing from you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Well, your county, and I don't know if you want to tell people what county you live in, but your county, I remember, had some real issues in the primary.
Oh yeah, and you know what's funny? I'll call my county Penal County. How about that?
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Because it's all cops out here, man. It's all cop. It's cop land out here. Don't fuck around when you're out here. You get pulled over real quick. Just do what you're supposed to do. Just keep on cruising. You can even wave at them. They'll wave back to you. It's all good. It might look a little funny, but it's just the way it is. But Pinal County, they really don't talk about Pinal or Penal, whatever the county you want to call it. They don't talk about how they got ripped off too. Back in when Trump was running for president, they don't talk about that. And this here with Kerry Lake, we'll just go back to Trump. Nobody even questioned Pinal County at all because it's just the way it is. The peoples were so deceived, so tricked, so many conspiracies that were happening and all this other crap and suppression, voter suppression, and flipping the votes, computer, doing it online, and all kinds of different stuff. It's happened, and they all know what's happened. And there's some big stuff that's going to be happening here pretty soon, and we're all waiting for it. Good.
What's been happening for a lot of years, and a lot of people that don't live in Arizona, and I think a lot of people that even live in Arizona don't get this. What they're trying to do in Arizona is suppress the guys who want to vote the day of the election.
That's right.
They want everybody to do the mail-in ballots. That's what's going on in Arizona. That's the problem with the Arizona voting system right now, is they are trying to make you like you are some conspiracy theorist because you want to vote on the day of the election.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's what Bill Gates is trying to say. It's like, oh, you assholes decided to vote on the day of the election. Why didn't you just mail in your ballot?
Yeah.
Trust me. Trust me. You know what I mean? Like that's what's going on. I mean, that's what's going on in Arizona right now. It's not conspiracy theory. It's exactly what's going on. It's like they want you to just mail in your ballot because there's no possibility of fraud mailing in your ballot.
Oh, no, come on.
No, you know, and they want to basically tell you that you're a conspiracy nut because you want to vote on the day of the election. And how dare you show up and overwhelm us?
Yeah.
You know,
and you know what? And do it early too, right?
Yeah.
Do it
early
early.
voting. Yeah.
Come on, throw it in there. Jack it all up. Come on, bring it on, guys.
And here's the other irony. We talked about this on a previous episode, but Bill Gates, what he said was, and this is his words, not mine. He said the reason that Maricopa County took so long to tabulate the votes was because of day of early voters. So in other words, these are people that had a mail-in ballot, right? And they show up on the day of the election, and then they're like, hey, here's my ballot, because they didn't mail it in time, right?
Sure.
So they show up, and that kind of screws up our system. Like, I know in Florida, they don't do that. And we've talked about that before. And I do agree, we shouldn't allow that. Personally, that's what I think. I don't know what you think, Rob, but personally, I don't think we should allow that day of early voting.
That's what causes all the problems.
Either you vote early or you don't. You don't get to vote early the day of. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, you can't have it both ways, you know?
Well, day of, if you're standing in line, and that's one thing, you know.
But then you're not an early voter. You're just voting the day of. I'm trying to say, like, there are early voters, quote unquote, who show up on the day of the election with, oh, here's my ballot. That doesn't work. We shouldn't allow that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? They said it took what was it? Just over a week, wasn't it? It was for them to count all that. Right?
Yeah.
Because
it took about a week.
Yeah. That's that.
And by the way, Maricopa County was the one that just took forever. And that's the biggest county in Arizona. And it took forever for them to freaking count the votes.
I'll be glad when that crap's over with.
Well, supposedly it's over now, right? It's now certified. So
it's not done yet. It's on now.
But we have a recount. By the way, you know what? One other thing I want to mention is that we're talking about, Abe Hamedeh and his race.
Yeah.
They're already calling his opponent Attorney General elect. There's a recount going on, media. Do you understand that? You understand what a recount is?
Yeah.
You can't be going around calling his opponent Attorney General elect. That's not appropriate. That's bullshit, you know?
It's like when the news, that piece of crap news that I was watching that day last week, and USA was playing soccer, and they called it for the other team 12 minutes before the game was even over. I was watching it live, and they called the game, and I'm like, "What? Wait a minute!" And I said, "Oh, wait a minute! You're the same station that called it for Joe Biden."
Yeah,
early. While the people were still standing in line in downtown Maricopa, you called the damn race already. They hadn't even voted yet. But get off the damn TV, damn idiots! I'm tired of those fuckers. They just need to stop that shit. And and remember I was telling you too, I found out that station and about 5 other stations. No, that wasn't 5, 3 or 4 other stations. And these are local stations that are I forget what you call it. They have parent stations, which are the international ones, the big ones.
Yeah.
You know, that don't lean to the right. They fall over to the left all the way. You know, those big stations. Those guys and gals, their ratings suck. Just so everybody knows out there, you might like those stations. I ain't going to say their names. You might like them, but look at their stats. I ain't going to tell you what they are. And I'm talking only thousands out of the American population, which we got 250 million, I believe, somewhere in there. And they only got a couple thousand people that watch their station. But they make you believe, like Twitter did. That's why Elon Musk has put it out there. These are bots. They're little robots running around going everywhere. And they make it, and they have little info bags with them that drop, and then it presents it to your eyeballs, and you go, "Oh my God, really? I can't believe that's happening." Well, guess what? It wasn't. It was these little bots running around. These little, we'll just call them robots. Okay, they're just they're all programmed for one. Somebody's telling all the robots, tell everybody this, and you suckers out there were watching it, and you believed it. And look what's happening now. Now they found out that all that's a bunch of horse shit. They know that that's why the people that invested all that damn money into all that crap was for nothing. So all you people wanted to pull out and take your money, go. Just run. Take your shit and run. If you want to reinvest, go ahead, because there's somebody else. There's a new cowboy in town. He's running some other shit. Okay? And he got rid of all those other son bitches that were dogging everybody else and just making everybody panic.
Well, it's really interesting what Elon Musk has uncovered now that he is the head of Twitter. You know what I mean? And the fact that he has publicly disclosed how Twitter actively suppressed conservatives.
That's correct. That is
actively, and he's letting the floodgates open. You know,
that's right. That's right. And he says he has gold, which I don't know what else can you dump. But hey, from what I heard, I don't mean to cut you off there, but I also heard that some of the people that used to work there worked for the Democratic Party, and they and Mrs. Hobbers, we'll just call her, that made some phone calls and said, "Hey, can you can you kind of do flip that switch over there for me?" Thanks, appreciate click. And that's so. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but that was I had to throw that in there.
There's a lot coming out. And by the way, I do want to put a caveat out there that it's always kind of like I always take a step back because I don't believe in hero worship anymore.
Yeah.
So, Elon Musk is not necessarily like, he's not Jesus. Okay. He's a man. You know what I mean?
A regular dude.
He's a man. Okay.
That's right.
And
that's right.
just as soon as he can giveth and taketh away. Okay. I'm just saying that. I'm just putting that out there. But you know what? When he's right, he's right. Okay. And what he's doing right now is he's right, because what he's doing is he's exposing the bias of the media through the prism of Twitter, which, by the way, Twitter is something that most media people really like. I like it myself because what's nice about Twitter is almost every official, like, government agency, company has an official Twitter account. So you can get their view very easily, right?
Yeah.
That's why the media likes it, because they can quote Twitter very easily. They can quote Donald Trump used to be on Twitter all the time, and he would put statements out. So you know what? It's a way to get that information directly from the source. But what Twitter has been doing is they have been basically censoring people that they don't like.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, that's what's going on. They're censoring people they don't like. So, and that's wrong.
Just so you know, some of the big dogs out there that really got a good grab on people, just, there's people like Dan Bongino, you got Elon Musk. Who else we got out there? We got a whole bunch. The Pillow Guy. What's his name? It's right. My tongue. Anyways, all you guys. All right, are we back here? I think we got dropped there for a second.
Yeah, we got frozen for a second there. Just a little technical hiccup.
So what I was about to say is that
probably the NSA trying to suppress us right now.
We're not even talking about conspiracy stuff.
We're not.
Why would we? We already know what's going on. The United States of America, the people are not stupid. They're sitting there watching all of this. They're going, oh, what do you do? Cut off that dude over there in Penal County? You gonna go after that old something? Come on.
In Penal County.
Penal County.
Penal County, Arizona.
Yeah. I remember when I first moved here and I was on the highway and I saw that sign and I looked over at my wife and I said, Penal County? What the hell is this? And you know what else caught me off guard? Not to change the subject. Oh, let me just finish first before I go any further. Elon Musk, Mike Lindell, Pillow Guy, Dan Bongino, all you big dogs, all you conservatives out there, all of you, I don't care who you are, you're invited to come onto our show and talk about anything you want to talk about. Anything, anytime. Just leave your information. We'll call you back. All right. Just so you know, if you hear this broadcast out there, give us a ring. We'll jump all over it. All right. So, anyways, we're coming down the 10, and we're coming into Arizona for the first time. This is a long time ago, it's a quarter of a century ago, right? And soon as we get into town, I think we hit. We'll just say the west side of Phoenix, way back there. And all of a sudden, I thought for sure that we had a problem with our truck that we were driving. And there's this high, windy sound. Couldn't figure it out. I was like, what the hell is that? And it never went away. We said, oh, man, the water pump's about to take a shit. Oh, man, we blew a bearing in one of the wheels, look out for the smoke and the fire, and then we're sitting there and we're driving and then we make it and we get out of the car and we stopped at a place, to get some bite to eat. We get out, we just smell in the car to see if it's burning, like nothing's burning. And the sound went away. And like, what the hell was that? So we got back in the car and we continued on. And, maybe a half hour to an hour later, we finally make it to Mesa, Arizona. That's where we were headed. And we're coming down to 60. And it got a little bit louder. Couldn't figure out what the damn sound was. So it was like a wow, just a little bit kind of almost sounds like a bearing's getting ready to fry. Well, it took a couple of years later, believe it or not, until we figured it out. They rubberized the road on the freeways in Arizona. They used old rubber and mixed it with concrete or asphalt to rubberize, to deaden the sound of traffic, and the walls along the freeways to stop the sound so they wouldn't bother the residents. And I thought that was pretty cool. And if you look at the walls, some of the walls, like on the 202, especially the 202, are way out in the west or east sides. Those walls are 20 feet tall. I mean, they're huge. I mean, I know they're way over 10 feet, probably closer to 15 feet, somewhere in there. And which is cool because it stops that roar of the highway. That's what they're doing. And they say that the rubber asphalt is better. It lowers the sound. But what it did, as an outsider at that time, a quarter century ago, it sounded like my car was going to blow up. And it scared the living crap out of me, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
But all it was, and see, now we're used to it. You're used to it. Everybody that lives out here, you get on the highway, you don't even think about it. You don't even hear that sound no more. Do you remember when me and you went to California? Right?
Yeah.
You remember that? You remember we left Arizona and we hit like, what was that, San Bernardino or Riverside or whatever it was. It's the first big county before you go into California from Arizona. Well, immediately I recognized it. Now, I don't know if you did or not, but I heard the road, and then the potholes started. So you had all the potholes, and then now it's back to crunch and boom, smack. The car, boom, crack, boom, 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 all for another 50, 100 miles to get into Los Angeles. And once you got into Los Angeles, every road's just trashed. And, but anyways, I thought I'd throw that at you because it is really, it was a great idea, but the roads aren't lasting like they said they were. They really aren't. That rubber is not, I don't think they got the mix good enough. I don't think they did. Some of the freeways they did, like that 202, it's smooth as ice from the 60 all the way up to past your house.
Yeah.
Just
202 is actually really good.
Oh, it's like butter. That's a perfect freeway for a robot to go ahead and drive you anywhere you want to go because it's smooth as ice. The lines of the roads are right there in front of your face. You can see them in a storm really good. And they took care of that. They made that highway really nice. Or I guess, is that a highway or a freeway?
Yeah, the 202 is a freeway. So
it's
yeah.
a freeway. So anyways, I just thought I'd throw that out at you there. But this Twitter thing, let me tell you something about this Twitter. There's more to come. People are going to get indicted on January, I believe, 6th. Is that right? 3rd to the 6th or something like that is when everybody gets put into office.
January 3rd is actually when the Congress is going to flip. Yeah.
Right.
That's when the Republicans will take Congress. So,
and that's only just a little bit over 2 weeks from now. Okay. Just they're saying that gavel that Nancy Pelosi had in her hand, it's going to be pointed back at her. And it'll be slammed it saying her name. And it's going to be, oh my God. And you know what? The rhinos got it coming. If you're a rhino, you're done. And I'll tell you what, they're going to do everything they can to get Trump. They're doing everything they can to get him right now. They're trying to indict him on anything they can get their hands on so they can stop him from being president. Ain't gonna happen. But there, I guess, do we got, is Trump on tonight? Is he doing a rally tonight?
I don't know.
I'll take a look here in a minute. But, but big things are coming. And it's a good thing. So you guys watch out for a lot of that. Listen up for that, because it's all about you guys. It's all about us. And I'm in the same boat. So is a base guy over here, 14. He's deep in this stuff, man. I'm gonna tell you, I'll have to give it to you. You're a lot more technical about it than I am. I'm more of a, when I hear it happen, I just want to slap you upside the head and just move on. You'll just hang on to the shirt and keep going at the son of a bitch till he understands. I don't even care. I just pop and I just move on to the next guy. I get time to even tell you what's going on. But just so you know, I appreciate all your hard work. You're a hustler, dude.'re a hustler. A lot of people don't know it. He's a hustler. Don't let him fool you. He's a hustler. You're glad he doesn't play cards. He'd probably win every single time. But anyways, what else we got going on up there?
Well, we got some fun stuff. Like, I want to talk about college football.
Yeah, hit it.
So, I know we don't normally do endorsements, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Go Navy, beat Army, man. What do you think? It's America's game is today. It's Army Navy game. Who are you for, Rob? Because I'm pretty sure I hit this
Navy.
right.
Navy.
Go Navy, beat Army, man.
Yeah. Navy rocks. Navy rocks. Yeah.
I mean, this is America's game today. This is the day, like at 1:00 Arizona time, which I guess would be like noon Pacific time.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's going to be the Army Navy game. That's it. That's college football today. And everybody should tune in, and everybody should root for Army. I'm sorry. I said Army? Navy, for Navy.
Hey, speaking of Navy and water, Surf Report says 1 to 2 foot. Again, another flat day out there in El Pardo. Okay, Manhattan Beach. Marina del Rey. Yeah, I wish it was that big. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, that's Tiapu. I believe that's Tahiti. If anybody can correct me, but I believe that is. I know it's Tiapu because I can tell how thick that lip is up there. That's one badass wave. Matter of fact, one of these days, we got to get on a boat. If we ever make enough money these days, we'll go out, hang on a boat, and watch these guys surf that stuff. I won't surf that. No way. That's just too big for me. It's too powerful. I can't handle that. Those guys can. And but what you can do is you can ride in a boat, on a charter boat that takes you out, and it's right next to that. I mean, literally, I'm not even kidding. 20 feet from that, 30 feet max, literally. And you go up over the swell off to the right there. It's pretty badass. But anyways, surf sucks right now, but that's okay. It's good for the kids. Let the kids get out there and get some practice going there. Get on some of those longboards. Get them out there on their, I hate to say this to the surfers, but your boogie boards. Get them out there. And get out there and catch some waves, catch some tubes. So, practice your laybacks and all your, your hang 5 and hang 10s if you can get them out. So, but yeah, so we got that going on. Just to give you a heads up, I see it every day. Surf Report. It's where I used to surf. So, but anyways, again. Let's see what else we brewing on there, Mr. Base God. What else we got?
I muted myself. Sorry about that. We hit all the items that were in the marquee, so we're actually kind of ahead of time here. So
okay.
if you just want to talk, if there's anything else you want to just talk about, you.
Well, we got about 10 minutes there. So anyways, we'll get back to the Twitter stuff. The shadow ghosting that's been going on is and I'm so glad it's over. I really am, because I was one of those people that this was a while back. I was on Twitter, and I really was never on Twitter to begin with. To be honest with you, I was always on Facebook, and that's about all I was on. I was just surfing a little bit, here and there, And then one day I got on Twitter, and it really didn't appeal to me because it was mostly you could only say so many words in a paragraph, and that was it. When and then on Facebook you could watch videos, you could post all kinds of stuff. Twitter wasn't doing that. It was all just it'd be a picture or something, and it'd just be you could put in 500 words and that was it. It was over. 500 letters. It wasn't even words, and so it wasn't really appealing. But I made a couple of comments about Trump. It wasn't even derogatory at all. It wasn't like, I was saying some crazy shit. I was just saying, like, go Trump or something. It was, or good for you, Trump, and it wasn't even negative. And I got banned. Just for saying his name.
Yeah.
I was gone. I was like, what just, and I had no idea back then that that's what was happening to everybody. And I got hit too. They finally put me back on. And now I just look, now they got videos and stuff on there. Now they got all kinds of different little stuff on there. But
I remember when that happened because Rob, I used to interact with a lot of people that were Star Trek fans. Okay. There's a hashtag called All Star Trek, and it's basically people that watch episodes of Star Trek together because the what's it called? Heroes and Icons channel. They show like 6 hours of Star Trek 6 days a week. Okay. They go from the original series all the way to Enterprise, and they show these episodes. And so what people will do, they use the hashtag All Star Trek, and they tweet while the episode's going on. Okay. Yeah. And I knew people from that. And I remember this guy, and I always wonder what happened to him. But I remember this guy that was conservative, and he would always comment, and it wasn't like he'd sit there and comment like, oh, I love Trump or something like that. He would comment about the show, right? Mm-hmm. But he was a Trump supporter. And I remember he disappeared one day. Just disappeared. He got banned. They threw him off Twitter because he was a Trump supporter, And they did this. I mean, they did this to a lot of people, And Elon Musk, I actually did a tweet on our Twitter. Because actually, you know who James Woods is, right? The actor.
Yeah,
he's pretty active on Twitter, and he's very active right now because of Elon Musk. And he just tweeted about, and I retweeted it on our account just now. He's been talking about this stuff. The quote is, "The rules were enforced against the right, but not against the left." That's what Elon Musk, that's a quote from Elon Musk.
That's right.
And he knows because he's in charge of Twitter now.
That's right. This
isn't conspiracy theory. This isn't, whatever. This is a fact. Yeah. It's a fact,
Those algorithms too. So as soon as you said certain words, Trump, you don't like the left, I'm a conservative, or some words like that. You're flagged. Boom, grab them, put them in jail, hang on to them. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Oh, not just that too. Google, Mr. Google, found out that the rest of them have been doing it too. All of them. Not all.
I want to say this about Google.
Yeah.
I was trying to find an article for our topic today about, about the controversy with the WNBA versus the Marine. That was how I put it.
Yep.
It was very hard to find an article that would talk about the Marine. I just want to put that out there because I had to Google it. And Google doesn't like that. They don't like that search. I'm just putting it out there. They do not like that search.
You're the first one, man. I was just about to say that.
I'm just saying they do not like that search because there were like tons of articles. It's like, oh, Biden's great. She's great. This is great. Trying to find out about the Marine.
Yeah.
They're suppressing that.
That's right.
They're suppressing that.
That's right. They're also suppressing that he was the one that was supposed to come home first. Nobody knows that. They changed it right at the last second and said, oh, you can't go get that off. No. This is what you need to say. You need to say that she's coming home, and
right.
we're trying to work it out with the other dude.
They're trying to work it out. I'm sure they're trying to work it out. Yeah. The guy's been in prison for since 2018, folks. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break,
The thing is that you don't. The thing is with politicians, and where I stand. You do. I'm not going to say it yet because it's all good things will come to people that wait. Okay. And especially when they got time. Okay, I'll throw that one in there too. But here's the deal. God, what the hell was I going to say? God dang it, I can't remember what I was going to say. It was pretty cool.
You said good things come to those that wait.
Yeah. When you're born street fighter, okay, or you were brought up in the streets and you were poor, okay, I was brought up in the East Coast. I was brought up in really bad neighborhoods, and I mean bad, where I was the only white dude on the street. And not to say that the other people were all bad, but it was bad neighborhoods. We'll just put it that way. Okay. And when you deal with other bad people, you have a certain way of talking to them and a certain understanding that you have between each other. Both of you don't give a shit. That's number one. Number two, what I tell you I'm going to do is what I'm going to do. And if you don't like it, we can go outside and go talk about it, around the corner or something. Kind of like, what's his name? Who's that one guy keeps talking about? If this was 50 years ago, I'd take you out back and hit and knock you out. I can't remember the name of that guy, but he talks about it all the time. Well, guess what? I'm that son of a bitch that would take you out back, and I would jack your fucking world. Okay, and that goes along with all these politicians too. Okay. And I don't mean just our politicians. I'm talking about foreign ones, presidents, diplomats, all these other pieces of shit that are out there. Some of these, like
our friend Z.
Okay. Let me give you an example of what I'd like to do. I would like to go to Venezuela, okay, and run for president just for 4 years or 2 years or whatever, and tell the people what needs to happen and get elected and change the voting, because out there it's all electronic. Go right back to paper ballots immediately. Okay? Then win, take care of business, get them all back aboard, get the place rocking and rolling again, and then go ahead, step out, and let somebody that speaks their language go ahead and take over and their culture. You know, I'd have to have a translator, but here's the point: those bastards that are running that country, that are starving those people out, because they're starving to death, and not just not the adults, the kids are starving too. That's what pisses me off more than anything. Adults can go out and kill animals if they have to and eat them. Those kids can't do that, okay? And they're starving to death, and that's just Venezuela. Okay. They need to get that shit straight. So that same mentality applies here in the United States of America. So if I was, we'll just say hypothetically speaking, if I were to run for a higher position than just an American person just standing, going to work, you know, Monday through Friday doing my thing, or run for president or run for some high office, I would tell those shitbags and the public, I would put them on blast. And I wouldn't think twice about it. I'd be live, right? You know, I'd be live on the mic to the American people. I would hold news conferences with the American people. How about that? Why not? They put me there. Let's talk about why nobody showed up to vote, but yet they voted. Wait a minute. You didn't even show up to vote, but somehow somebody in a different state voted for you because you called them on the phone and said, hey, vote for me. You know, that happens all the time, constantly, because they're too busy at the house, kicking it with the family and the kids and, you know, and blah, 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 whatever. All that shit needs to stop. What needs to happen is you need to put these sumbitches on blast and call them out for who they are. They're not doing that. Some people are doing that, like Marjorie Green and all them. Remember, we were talking about that a few episodes ago. She's straight on blast street. I mean, she'll call you right out, right to your face. Everybody. Pelosi, all of them, Schumer, you know, boom, just nails them. But I would take it even a step further. I'd make a major announcement and put everybody on blast, and they would all come after me, every single one of them. And I'd say, "You have a problem with me? Let's go step out back. Come on, I'll take you on. I don't care. You ain't stupid. You talk about it. You want to fight about it. What do you want to do? Because it doesn't even matter. I'll go both ways. It doesn't even matter." I said, I might be a little older dude, but I'll whip your ass. I said, I'll stick my teeth right in your neck. I don't even care. You know? And see, that's the difference between me and some of these other pussies that are in office right now. Here's a good one. What's her name? She just became an independent overnight.
Who did?
Oh, our senator. Sinema is now an independent.
She is?
Yep. She came on TV last night and says, I am no longer a Democrat. I am an independent now.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that. And I live in Arizona. I didn't know that.
Yep. Hell yeah.
I just found an article. Let's look at it before we leave, because this is relevant. So Sinema switches to independent, shaking up the Senate. Do you see the article?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting. I didn't know this. So the Arizona senator won't say whether she's running for re-election, but said in an interview she doesn't expect to change in how the Senate operates. Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema is changing her party affiliation to independent, delivering a jolt to Democrats' narrow majority in Washington along with it. In a 45-minute interview, the first-term senator told Politico that she will not caucus with Republicans and suggested that she intends to vote the same way she has for 4 years in the Senate. Quote, nothing will change about my values or my behavior. Provided that Sinema sticks to the vow, Democrats will still have a workable Senate majority in the next Congress, though it will not exactly be the neat and tidy 51 seats they assumed. They're expected to also have the votes to control Senate committees, and Sinema's move means Senator Joe Manchin, a pivotal swing vote in the 50-50 chamber the past 2 years, will hold on to some, but not all, of his outside influence in the Democratic caucus. Sinema would not address whether she will run for re-election in 2024 and informed Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of her decision on Thursday. Quote, I don't anticipate that anything will change about the Senate structure, Sinema said, adding that some of the exact mechanics of how her switch affects the chamber is, quote, a question for Chuck Schumer. I intend to show up to work, do the same work I always do. I just intend to show up to work as an independent. She said her closely held decision to leave the Democratic Party reflects that she's, quote, never really fit into a box of any political party. A description, she said, also applies to her fiercely independent state and millions of unaffiliated voters across the country. So there you go.
Yep.
Sinema, as you said, she is an independent.
Yeah. Change right on. So does that leave an open spot for her now or what?
What do you mean?
Well, we didn't hire or vote in an independent. Whoever they are, because I didn't do it, but she was voted in as a Democrat, not an independent.
Yeah, but you can always change your party affiliation. I mean, party affiliation is not a constitutional thing, so you can change your party affiliation anytime you want. You know what I mean?
So we vote you in as a Democrat, but and all of a sudden you get in and you go, I'm a Republican now.
Yeah,
you do that?
Actually, that happened in I think that just happened actually in like either Virginia or West Virginia. They had a state senator who was like, you know what, I'm not a Democrat anymore. It happens. Okay. You know, party affiliation is not something that it's not constitutional. So it's like you can change your party affiliation anytime you want. Anytime you want. Cool. The thing that this affects, right, is whether she runs for re-election. That's what kind of the article is talking about, right? The issue is, will she run for re-election as an independent? And, you know, will the Democrats have to have their party person? The Republicans have her party person? This could be really interesting because we might have a three-way race in Arizona if she decides to run for re-election, right? That's when it gets interesting. But hey, kudos for her. I've said good things on this program about Sinema because Sinema, I feel like she is independent. Yeah. She actually does. And by the way, I'm not trying to be like, oh, she's great or something like that. I think she's actually very pragmatic. She knew that the Senate is divided, you know, very closely. It was 50-50, which it's not anymore. We didn't talk about Georgia, but Georgia happened, and now it's 49 Republicans to the rest. It's not 50-50 anymore, but it used to be 50-50, and Sinema understood that. And because it was 50-50, she made herself relevant by being a swing voter, right? And which I thought was actually pretty brilliant politically. Whereas Mark Kelly, he's just a whipping boy for the Democratic Party. He just does whatever Biden tells him to do, you know? So I give kudos to Cinema about that. I didn't know she went independent, so I don't know. You know, the more I think about it, I'm like, if she does run for re-election, maybe I will vote for her. You know,
Right.
I'm just saying. I'll throw it out there. I'm just like, I think I might. Plus, she's kind of hot. Is it okay to say that? I think Cinema's pretty hot. So
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. This is the United States of America.
I think she's attractive. I think she's an attractive woman. So.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a good show. I got a few things I got to do out there in the world. So I guess we're going to wrap it up. I got to get out of here and do some stuff. But all right. You people out there, enjoy your day. Enjoy life as best you can. We'll talk to you real soon, Bad Bob. Base Guy 14 says, see you later. Have a good day.